I'm going to be giving all of you guys the ultimate crash course in the theremin. Hello everybody, it is Prue. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I make weekly music, art, film, and video game content. If that sounds like something you'd like to see, don't forget to smash that subscribe button and tap that notification bell so you never miss an upload. You guys asked, and I'm gonna give the people what they want. So today, I'm gonna be giving all of you guys the ultimate crash course in the theremin. So what is theremin? Why is theremin? How is theremin? I'm gonna tell you. Alright, so basically the theremin was invented in 1920 by a guy named Leon Theremin. He had a theory that the theremin was going to outdo the piano and everyone would eventually have a theremin. Plot twist, that did not happen, and the theremin slowly died away to a select amount of people actually playing it. And by a select few, I mean like myself and 9 others. Today, there are two different types of theremins. You've got the theremin and the theremini. The theremin has your classic theremin sound, and your theremini is a synthesizer instrument with functions on there such as pitch correct and also effects. I've also heard of some people making their own theremin, as it's quite simple to make, but that's not what this video is about. Alright, so let's get down to the basics. What gear do you need to play a theremin? So the first thing you guys are gonna need is a stand. Trust me, for the first 6 months I had my theremin, I was playing on all different types of surfaces such as the kitchen table and also my bed. This made getting an accurate sound very difficult because things such as woods and metals were interfering with the sound. I picked this up for 20 bucks. It's actually a microphone stand, and all you've got to do is take off the microphone attachment and then you can plug the theremin straight on. So simple, so easy, so wow. Next, you're gonna need a gig bag. This one here is the official Moog Theremini case that I picked up online. It has a section at the front of the bag where you guys can put your charger as well as some musicianship paper. It also comes with a strap so you can show off that you're a thereminist. And then the theremin fits snugly inside. Next, you're gonna need some cables. I have the Oniball 1/4" cables, and these work just fine with the theremin. Next, you're gonna need some headphones. I have these Audio-Technica ones because trust me, if you are playing or practicing the theremin, the noise might get a little bit annoying. So for the sake of everyone you live with, get a pair of headphones, plug them in, and practice to yourself. So the next thing you're gonna need is an audio interface. This one is from Avid, and it works across all my instruments, including my piano, my synth, my bass guitar, and my theremin. So now you've got all your gear, let's talk about how to actually play the theremin. The first thing you want to do is turn your theremin around like this, and you want to pull out the pitch antenna. It fits really snugly underneath the instrument, and it snaps straight back in when you're done using it. It has a red tip on the end like this, so you know that this is the way it goes into the instrument. So I've just attached it to the microphone stand, and I'm going to screw it in like this. So after you're done screwing it into the microphone stand, you want to take the power adapter that comes in the box and put it into the power outlet in the back. Then all you have to do is turn it on, and the last setting that you played it on will still be there. For the purpose of this video though, I'm going to be using the 01 classic theremin sound that comes straight out of the box. So the first thing you want to do with the theremin is calibrate it. Calibrating basically means that anything around the instrument within a 1.5 meter radius must be clear, so it can only pick up your body and your hand close to the antenna. So now I'm just going to press setup, and I'm going to move 1.5 meters away so it can calibrate the area around me. Next, it's going to ask me for the pitch hand. So I'm going to move my hand close to the pitch antenna and press calibrate. And now I'm going to take my hand and move it far away from the pitch antenna so I can say how long I want the distance to be for pitch. So next I'm going to be doing the volume control. So it's as simple as when my hand is close to the volume antenna, the volume decreases, and when I move my hand, the volume increases. Near the volume, and now I'm going to move far from the volume. So next I'm going to move on to pitch. The Theremini is such a unique instrument because it comes with a pitch correction setting, which is basically just like auto-tune. So with the pitch correction turned all the way to 0, it's going to be very similar to an instrument with no frets. If I move the pitch correction to 100%, it will put those frets in. So then that's going to bring us to scales. I'm not going to sugarcoat this, the theremin is actually very difficult to get your head around when you first pick up the instrument. I would strongly recommend having some form of music theory behind you, as the instrument works heavily with modes and having a basic understanding of scale form and scale degrees. For example, when you turn the instrument on, it defaults to the root being in C and the scale being Ionian, which in layman's terms means a C major scale. So I would do a little bit of research into what modes are and how to work with them. The next thing I'm going to talk about is range. When you're choosing the scale range, I like to only use one octave between my shoulder and the antenna, so that way it's easier for me to pitch with my hand. As a beginner, it's a really good idea to turn up the volume to 100% and turn up your pitch correction to 100% as well, so you can do a basic C major scale with ease. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is technique and how it works. So there are two different ways of playing the theremin that I like to break down for myself. I think the first is a classical technique and the second is a contemporary technique. A lot of classical thereminists use the hand motion like this, the slight wrist in and out movement and fingers open and close to get accurate pitch. But that might not work for everybody. And then the next style is a more contemporary thereminist who plays music that's a little bit more experimental, avant-garde. So those type of thereminists are using the instrument, to do a really thick, heavy bass line with the instrument, or they're using it as a MIDI controller for a synthesizer or a guitar. The possibilities are endless. So next I'm going to talk about some frequently asked questions I get on this channel about the theremin. So the first thing I get asked a lot is, where does the sound come from? So there's a few different ways the sound can come from the instrument. The first is through the speaker in the instrument itself. The second is by making the pitch with the pitch antenna. And the third is by coming through the back of the instrument into an audio interface into Logic. The second question I get asked a lot is, why are you so still? Well, the theremin is a really precise instrument. The slightest move of your body can change the pitch, so I like to keep my body as still as possible as it takes extreme focus to play. My next question is, I'm confused. Thanks for asking that question, hence why I made the video. Next is, how exactly did you achieve the sound that you get? Well, there's a few different ways that I achieve the sound I have. The first way is by downloading the presets on the Moog website and editing them in the Theremini app that you can get for iOS. The next way I get the sound I do is by plugging it into Logic and using various presets to get the delay effect I want. And the third comes from myself as a musician, where I use my own technique to play the instrument to make it speak as much as I can. The next question is, do you need to have great hand or finger dexterity to play? In my opinion, absolutely not. I have seen some contemporary thereminists play with their elbow, for crying out loud, or I've got friends who swear by having precise finger movements. It's up to you. As a musician, come up with your own unique way of playing the instrument. There really is no right or wrong. Just make sure that whatever you're doing doesn't hurt your hand and that you're able to achieve accurate pitch. How long did it take you to learn the theremin? Well, the theremin was definitely not my first instrument. I play 7, including my voice. If you have already a sound understanding of music from a piano or a guitar, I don't think it would be that difficult for you to transition that knowledge into the theremin. In total, I would say the theremin took me about 6 months to learn. I would note bash a melody out by ear, write it down on musicianship paper, and then I would try and play it on the theremin with 0 pitch correction. And then if I was still struggling, I would turn up the pitch correction so I could get the melody right. Next is, what settings do you use? This is going to come down to the musician, so you can paint the canvas with whatever colors you want. But for me, in every single song I play, it's going to be different. I do favor though a major pentatonic sound with lots of reverb. I personally just really like that. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you like what you saw, don't forget to give me a thumbs up, like, subscribe, comment, follow me on all of my socials, and I will see all of you in next week's video.